Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your February 2020 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Scorpio. And we've got a Valentine's theme going on this month, although we'll talk about, way more than relationships. I'll touch on a little bit of everything. And if you would like to see what it is that I have to offer, if you'd like to put yourself on the books for a reading, go ahead and go to onyxhealing.com or check out the links in the description box. Go follow me on Instagram if you would like to check out all of my other content. And of course, take a moment to subscribe to this channel to get more readings from yours truly. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and lay this spread out and then we will get started. All right, let's start with your oracle cards for this month. Now, this card is going to apply to relationships, however you're focusing on that this month. Levity. Laughter is the best legal medicine, and it looks like it's time for you to get a sweet, sweet hit of it. When someone annoys you or a plan goes awry, try finding something funny in there. And if you ever feel like the butt of the joke, remember that the only difference between someone laughing at you and someone laughing with you is that in the first version, you're not laughing. You always have the option, so opt to lighten up. It's legal in almost 200 countries. So I think February is a month when you're really going to want to keep a light heart as much as possible. Laugh at the madness of life, which can be really, really challenging, but that's what this is reminding you to do. It's just saying, the majority of stuff that we get really hung up on is solvable, is fixable, is stuff that ends up changing along the way anyway. So especially in little hiccups in your relationships, the more you can bring a lightness and a sense of humor to those situations, the more opportunity there is for resolution. And then we also have, when I honor my feelings, I find my power in powerless situations. Yeah, so the main thing about this card is more about thrashing and resisting your own emotional process. That's not the way to go, right? And if you're in a really intense emotional state and you're trying to problem solve from a really tense emotional part of yourself, it just isn't going to pan out the way you want it to. So relaxing into, breathing into your feelings is how you're gonna watch your power emerge. Okay, and then knowing that that will shift and then solutions will come after that. Then there's power in the powerless situation. Okay. The central energy for you is the Three of Wands. So this is vision. It's like you're casting a vision or you have a clear vision. It's kind of like you know where you're aiming in February. So let's see what the crossing energy is. King of Cups. Okay, for some of you, this might be a person. This could also be you strengthening your emotional body. Right? I think for many of you, this is going to be someone who's supporting your vision or someone who is involved in your vision, someone who kind of has that King of Cups energy, who really embodies that. And so it seems like they're actually helpful or they're contributing somehow to the big picture of what you want. So however this wants to manifest, I think you already kind of have an idea of either where there's a hole that a role needs to appear, or this is just the emotional mastery part of yourself really coming through, which would make sense with these cards on the table. So I think February is going to be a good time to go through, assess your goals, see, where are you aiming? Like, just what are you aiming at? If you have your vision all clear, do you have your plan in place? Do you have the action plan in place? Start to evaluate that, and you're going to find that you have more success if you focus on that. What you have shifting out is the Eight of Wands. This is a sense of urgency. I think whatever is moving away the main thing that's coming up here is just impatience. Like if you've been really wanting things to just be figured out already, there's a lot of resistance that comes from this card, because it's kind of like you're trying to push something that's already in motion, and that really doesn't work. And so what you want to do with this, or what you're in the process of doing, is focusing on, I'm just going to stay the course, and I'm not going to get distracted by impatience. That's kind of what it is here, because this is a nice card. It's momentum, it's speed. Maybe this is something you've already been building in January, right? But you don't need to force it. If it's already moving, you don't need to push it further. And that's what this is helping you to see clearly. Instead, just focus on what you can do, the actions that you can take, the micro movements, the micro decisions that you're making every day. Move quickly in that capacity, but don't get hung up on timing and the when. The oncoming energy is the Two of Pentacles. I'm going to clarify this one. The Hermit. Okay, so if you feel like you're being faced with any decisions, you know, in the near future, because this is recent, like this is, or not recent, this is very, very soon. This is the near future. It seems like you want to really get centered. You want to get grounded within yourself. Look to yourself, your own wisdom, your own experience, your own light. That's where the answer is going to come through. It's not going to come from a pros and cons list. So just keep that in mind. Like, write down a reminder when I'm faced with decisions as they come up. I kind of need to go into a quiet or meditative state. It's one of those things where when you stop focusing on the decision or the problem, the solution emerges. That's what the Hermit is reminding you to do. It's kind of like, give your brain a break from trying to problem solve, give it some quiet time, and that's where the solution will emerge. So this will be interesting. Whatever this decision is, whatever this or that, or whatever direction you're deciding to go, give your brain a break. Now let's look at money, finances, how that's going for you. Ten of Pentacles. I really see this as a big fat reminder that you're supported. Now, the issue with money, if you're not really, really exercising your money manifestation muscles, is that people get so hung up on, but I'm not seeing the number in my bank account right this moment, or I'm not seeing it right this moment, therefore I can't relax into support. So that's where people have it backwards. It's feelings first, matter follows. So you want to operate from that principle in February. It's feelings first. What would it feel like if you had a lot of money in your bank account? What would it feel like if all of your bills were paid? What would it feel like if you didn't have debt anymore? What would it feel like? That's what you want to lead with. And then trust that there is so much more than enough that exists on earth, to where it kind of absolves you of any fear of running out. That's kind of the goal of the Ten of Pentacles up here. So this is, I mean, there's not a more ideal card that you can get for money. So this is just reminding you that there's so much more than enough. This is like abundance, overflow. It's just more and more and more. So you might find that your finances really expand in February as well. If you're doing the work, if you're applying yourself, if you're getting your energy in check, then this is kind of like this is major expansion. Like really laying the concrete, laying the foundation for what you're going to be able to build the rest of your financial world with. Okay, and then this is relationships. I'm saying that loosely. Apply it however you want, romantic or not. The Hanged Man keeps showing up. So I'm getting that there's just consistency. Maybe you're healing in a relationship. Keep showing up for that healing. Keep pushing yourself to either be vulnerable or set boundaries or whatever it is you're working on in particular. Be consistent with that. Maybe you need to practice with the vulnerability piece and reaching more or connecting more, right? If you have that stereotypical withdrawn Scorpio energy, you know, that might be the problem. But whatever it is, right, we're all working out bugs in relationships. That's just something that we do as human beings. And so the Hanged Man is just reminding you, keep showing up for the work in relationships, whatever that might be. And that's where you're really going to see things improve. Now, this is advice for you. We have the Lovers. Let me clarify this because I'm curious what this is. Eight of Wands. Okay. So I think that part of this is just like, make a decision, decide, stick to it, you know, keep moving with it, move quickly. Like when you make a decision, wherever that comes from, just honor it and move forward with it. So this, you know, the Lovers represents decisions. And then this is also like, if you are super focused on relationships, right? If that's a primary focus for you, then the advice here around relationships is very similar to the Hanged Man. It's almost a reiteration of this message as far as you want to keep going. Don't hold yourself back. It's more about a pace issue with this. It's kind of like things can speed up or slow down depending on how you're navigating it. So just bear in mind, like if you have a tendency to be avoidant or withdraw, then the solution is to show up more, be more open-hearted, be more open-minded, be more vulnerable, even if you have to do that in small doses. But know that that's what will help you expand into relationships faster and build momentum faster if you want it. And then this is what's on the horizon. So this is like near future, this is farther out, what you have on the horizon. Ace of Swords. Okay, this is coming up as inspiration. If you've been feeling like you're lacking clarity, inspiration, insight, awareness, whatever, it's coming. So I think you kind of just want to practice rooting yourself in your vision, getting more practical with it, looking at, you know, how you can feel into that support, and then that's where the inspiration is going to come from. So don't put too much pressure on yourself to figure it out right now. I think that you're going to be working your way into it as we go throughout February. So this is what's coming for you, and I think you have that to look forward to at some point coming up. So anything where you're like, I need to solve this problem, but I don't know how, I would be patient with yourself on that because it's coming. Okay, let's get into the timeline. First, second, third, and fourth quarter of February. The first quarter is the Two of Chalices. Okay, connection, collaboration, co-creation. And this can be with relationships that you're wanting to develop more of whatever variety. It's just about relational development. And the other thing is, this is a nice romantic card. You might find that more of that comes up for you in the beginning of February, that's kind of where things get maybe a bit more intense, or they start moving forward, or there's more opportunity for dating or romance in the beginning of the month. It's interesting. February for a lot of signs, not all, but for a lot of signs, has been a good dating month. So keep that in mind. Deepening intimacy, more connection, more opportunity here. And then the second quarter, we have the Knave of Swords. I'm just getting that this is exploration. So exploring, either evaluating yourself and what you have going on, taking inventory of that and trying new things. Or this is just, I mean, it could be a person, right? Because it's a court card. So it could be someone who has a lot of air qualities coming into your space. It could even be this King of Cups. This could be the same person. I'm not too rigid around signs. It's more about qualities. So it's just like there's more support both in relationships and materially than I think you even realize. So just honor that as it comes up. Okay, quarter three, we have the Hermit. Once again, it's like get quiet within yourself, get clarity within yourself. That's what you want to do in order to move forward. The answers are going to come if you center yourself, if you cut out all of the mental chatter. That's what you want to get out of in order to access your intuition. So that's what's going to help you make decisions, bring clarity, bring whatever you need. And then quarter 4, we have the 7 of chalices. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm getting that February is one of those months where it just gets increasingly more busy, and there's more and more things that emerge in February for you. So that's kind of why in this third quarter, it's like, get some peace, create some serenity for yourself. And by the end of the month, it's just like there's so many options that I think, of course, that can be kind of paralyzing, but if you're grounded enough in your intuition, it's not going to be a big deal. Now let's do a 3-card pick. You're welcome to pick a card, any card. Pick whichever one is calling to you. You can use this for whatever you want. Okay, card number 1. We have the 9 of Swords. Okay, so there's a lot of fear coming off of this. There's a lot of like catastrophic thinking. And the 9 of Swords is probably my favorite swords card, just because it's a reminder that the fear exists within your mental body. It's not real. It's just something where your brain is trying to make sure you're hyper vigilant of everything that's going on around you in order to protect you. It's just not real, though. That's the thing. It's an illusion. It's just what your brain is trying to do to help you, even though it can feel like a nightmare. So the main thing that you want to do is just remind yourself that the fears that are coming up are not necessarily legitimate, right? And I say this a lot, just because you think it doesn't mean it's actually going to come to life. I know a lot of people are concerned, if I ever have a negative thought, does that mean it's going to manifest? The answer is no. The 9 of Swords reminds us of that. It's kind of something that exists within a certain mental space, but that's about it. So you can rest and relax knowing that a lot of your fears are just exaggerated because that's what your brain needs to do. Your worst case scenario in your mind is going to be 10,000 times worse than the worst case scenario in reality, a lot of the time. Okay, card number 2. We have Vice. This is the devil, okay? And this is bad habits, old behaviors, old thought forms. Remember, this is a normal space for us to revert back to. If this is coming up, like the bad habits or the bad routines, the things that really hold you back, it's about acknowledging that that's what's happening and then shifting out of it as fast as you can, like shifting back into what you do want. We all do this. We all revert back into, little things or little behaviors that aren't actually best for us. And so this is a reminder that you can shift out of it even if you slip. So that's what this card wants to remind you. And also, I think you're going to want to pay attention to stuff if it doesn't feel good or it's not working for you. Pay attention to that so you can revise it. And then card number 3, we have the Ace of Swords. Again, it's kind of like take some pressure off of figuring it out and know that the inspiration is going to come organically. Like it's something that's just going to come up for you. It's not something that you have to force or that you have to pressure at all. This is also the type of card where I think it kind of catches you off guard. So what I would do is just make sure you're writing down all of your ideas and then go back to them later, because this is kind of off the cuff. It's a hit of inspiration. It's a lightning bolt. So document with this. All right. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. If you did, go ahead, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one, you guys know I do cold psychic readings, which means I just do an energy check with you and answer all of your questions. There might be some tarot in there. All of the info is on onyxhealing.com, so go check that out. Or you can take a look at the links in the description box. And until next time, have a beautiful February, everybody. I am sending you nothing but love, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.